Hello, everybody. We are bringing you a very special episode of Bardown Beauties. With all the uncertainty and kind of anger and sadness that is felt across our state, we wanted to shed some good and some light that is happening. Nyagach, I had met through Dynamites. I believe I've spoken about it on the podcast before, what a great program Dynamites is for the state of Minnesota, especially in the cities of Minneapolis and St. Paul, introducing youth to hockey and beyond, really setting them up with the tools to be successful. And Nyagach has certainly taken that to the next level. She sent me a text the other evening saying, hey, we're putting together a group of young teens and we want to help our community because, Nyagach, you're a Minneapolis native. This is affecting the city that you grew up in. Start and tell us a little bit about Minnesota Teen Activists and what you guys are trying to do to help in this unfortunate situation plaguing the state.
Well, I'm just going to pass the torch off to Aaliyah because she started all this. I obviously have something to say, but I think I should probably let the founder talk first.
I love it. Yes, Aaliyah, let's hear it.
So the sole purpose of Minnesota Teen Activists was to spread awareness of injustice issues all over Minnesota. And basically we thought that the teens were the face of everything that's going to go on for the rest of our lives. So we thought it would be a really good thing just to make an account.
And you mentioned before we started recording how it's really exploded. Did you anticipate the reaction to be so immediate and to have the impact right away that you guys really have had?
Actually not. I thought it was just not going to go a lot of places, but it's actually people from all over Minnesota that's talking to the account, and it's really nice, pretty much.
What has the feedback kind of been like? Like people who you told us you have 1,800 followers on Twitter right now for that. So I'm sure people have been messaging you and reaching out to you guys. What has that been like? What kind of things have people been saying about this?
So I got this message earlier today. It says, I'm glad that we are able to feel safer now that we have a place where we can be a community and discuss what's happening. You guys are really doing great things over here. I don't think any members of the government or any of the parents are going to fix what you guys are doing. So it's up to us. That's the message that we received earlier this morning.
Yeah, it's kind of been all like, I've been, ever since I joined and became admin, my 6th grade teacher hit me up and was like, I always knew you were going to be like a natural born leader. I've only gotten positive feedback and just, telling us to keep going, keep putting the message.
And you guys have started a GoFundMe account to really help out businesses and people in your community because as a result of some of this anger, which is very warranted, there's been damage. And again, the impact has gone deeper and again, seeded into the city. Tell us a little bit about the funds that you're raising and how those are going to help Minneapolis and beyond.
Well, so for me personally, I live right in the midst of all this. I live on 29th and 15th, so I'm in between Chicago Avenue. I'm right by the precinct. I watch Target go up into flames from my bedroom window. And the really sad part about it is Lake Street is mostly, employed by minorities, Somali community and Mexican community. And a lot of their businesses were hit by looters and rioters who generally didn't care who was owning the buildings. Just because of that energy that was out there the past couple of nights. And, me and my mom went for a walk yesterday and we saw them outside boarding up their, broken glass windows and all this other stuff. And I had a chat with this man who works at his own store. He's like, I have bills to pay. Like, we're not a white-owned company. Like, we're not going to get paid leave for this. Like, I want to be able to feed my kids, pay my bills and all that. So I pitched the idea to the team that, we should start a GoFundMe because unlike Target, unlike AutoZone, unlike all these people's, lives are being taken from them because they, financially they just can't, do that themselves. So we set the goal and small businesses, we just want to help them out as much as we can because, these times are uncertain and no one should have to suffer like that, especially if no one really can help them. That's kind of what we're here for.
Absolutely. And you guys have raised more than $3,000 already, which is again outstanding. I think it's truly is remarkable. And Nyagach, like we had said at the beginning of the podcast, I know you through Dynamites. How do you think Dynamites and kind of hockey really did help give you some of those tools to be a leader and to kind of take it to that next level and to do something like this beyond?
As a 15-year-old girl from the inner city, it's a little crazy to think that, I could talk to a bunch of people who live scattered throughout Minnesota and do all this. But, Dynamites really has built that foundation, that leadership foundation through, the Minnesota Wild Foundation, selling programs. And, I know what it means to be told no. People will tell you no all day long. And reaching out and, having resources is something that Dynamites has gifted to me. I.e. you. I mean, I reached out to you now, I'm talking to you. And they really have helped me, realize that you can't do anything by yourself. And reaching out to people is like one of the best things that you can do, because once you reach out, that word gets out there and more people will know. And with Dynamites and all of our sponsors, like I've gotten to see firsthand how all of that works and, took it into my own hands and made it something I can do.
I have a question for the both of you. You talked about how understanding the financial disparity that's happening right now because of everything that's going on. And I think that for two girls who are so young, it's pretty amazing that you can have that mindset, think to put yourself in an adult shoes and someone who has to be so careful with their money and what it takes to run a business. That's not something that every kid is able or teenager is able to grasp. How important do you think it is at your guys' age to be able to do this? This isn't, someone in their 30s who's making this decision. It's just a couple teenagers. And so for your age, how important do you think it is that you're taking the stand and trying to make a difference in your community?
I think it's very important because I think that we're the future.
It's going to be our city when we grow up. And if things don't change, we can't raise our kids in this, and people who have kids right now shouldn't have to raise their kids like this. I mean, I could only imagine if my mother's shop, if she had one, had gone, looted, how would I eat? How would she pay for that? And it's important to know, during these times, that people like us are thinking about them, because I imagine how, distraught those people are.
100%. Aaliyah, you had mentioned it just started a mere few days ago, but obviously it's a bright future ahead. I mean, this is not going, this specific state and the specific tragedy doesn't last forever. Where do you see the Minnesota teen activists continuing to go, and how do you see it continuing to grow and do good for the state and probably eventually the world? I imagine it could continue to go outside of the borders.
So we see it going a lot of places. We haven't figured out exactly what, but we have a lot of people that want to join, to actually join the group chat and everything like that. And it shows that people are very interested in this and people are actually worried about this, especially as teenagers. So I expect it to go very far because it is growing really fast in the last 3 days that we made the group chat and the account.
No, it is. Again, you girls are doing an amazing job. We want to thank you both so much for coming on and sharing a little bit about what you're doing and reminding folks that there is good out there. And my favorite quote is Mr. Rogers, where it's look for the helpers, and you guys are part of those helpers. So thank you for personally putting a little bit of ray of sunshine on this, and for the state. I think it is remarkable for some teen girls. I only wish I had the drive and thoughts that you guys do. So kudos to you. Be sure everybody to go check out their GoFundMe page, donate if you're able to. If not, just spread some love and make sure that let people know that these girls are out here. This group is out there doing some good to help the city of Minneapolis and help that future generation.
And
Thanks
if you're young, then you should follow in their footsteps as well. I just want to say that because that's what I was most amazed about when Jesse brought this story to us and said how we should talk about this. That was the first thing that I thought of was just your age and that you want to make a difference this young, because you will make a difference no matter what it is if you start this young. I guarantee it. So if anyone's listening and maybe you're young and you don't have the money to donate or whatever it is, at least follow in the footsteps of kind of the leadership that they're taking here, because that's just as important as anything else.
It is, like I said, I couldn't say the word remarkable more often. It's absolutely amazing. I don't think you find very many teens who are that forward thinking and are actually taking action. So it is. It's amazing. You girls are awesome. Thank you so much. Let's raise some money. Let's get some help going, and obviously we'll be in touch as things go on. So
Yeah, thanks, ladies. Good luck.
Good luck.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you again to Nyagach and Aaliyah for coming to us with that story in the first place. And again, just sharing the positives that they're trying to do. To reiterate, they are the Minnesota Teen Activists. It's not just the two of them. It's a group of young teens across the state of Minnesota working together to make a better future for themselves. It's not a direct result of the recent tragedy surrounding George Floyd and the city of Minneapolis, but it's also affecting them. Nyagach said she's living right there. The National Guard is outside of her house, and it's a bummer, but it's so amazing to see them step up to the plate and really take hold and say, no, these things have to change. So the GoFundMe page that we had mentioned a couple times, just to be clear, kind of what everything's going on, how it's all working out. As Nyagach had mentioned, a lot of the looting didn't just affect Targets and AutoZones and places that have backings from larger companies, larger parent companies, but a lot of very small businesses and locally owned businesses for people that don't have the money and we're probably already struggling due to the pandemic that is going on, because don't forget that's also happening around all of this. So her thought was, let's help out these small businesses, let's help them rebuild, and let's help them pay their bills and feed their kids, because they're part of the city. This is their community that's being burnt to the ground, and now their livelihood and everything else is at stake. So that's what the GoFundMe is set up for. Again, it's going directly to those small business owners families, to be used at their discretion, at their needs. But it's bills, food, and rebuilding. So it's definitely a good thing. I know Nyagach fairly well over the years through Dynamites, and she's just a wonderful, wonderful young lady. So I have nothing but the utmost faith and trust in her and this organization that her and Aaliyah have put together. So definitely go check it out. We will have the link in our tweet. We'll push that out on social media. Thank you to all those that have donated. I know I pushed it out on my personal account a couple times, and I see a couple of names I recognize on the donation. So you guys rock, and keep sharing the love. And for any teens listening, if you want to get involved, sounds like they're willing to add more, and why not? What a great way to kind of put some leadership skills to the test and help out. So I think it's remarkable is the only thing I can keep thinking of, because it's absolutely remarkable what these kids are doing.
Yeah, and again, it doesn't, no matter the situation, it doesn't have to affect you personally for you to get involved and become an ally for the people who are affected the most. So even if you're not living in the Twin Cities, or even if you're not a person of color or someone who owns a business or part of a family who owns a business, you can still step up and say, I want to help in whatever way I can. So, and yeah, they seem very willing to have as many people on board with their cause as they can. And again, if you can't donate money, that's okay. We can't all afford that, but you can donate help. That's something that you can always find a way to do. So, yeah, I said it in the interview with them, but again, it's crazy that young kids can have such a grasp on the world, because I know that all the young kids I know, and I know when I was 14, 15, 16 years old, there were so many things about the world I still didn't understand yet. And still, even at the age of 24, I don't understand. So it's pretty incredible that just a couple teenage girls can have such a grasp on the world and the bigger picture of things and want to help at that age. Because a lot of kids don't want to help because they don't know what helping can do. And so anytime that you see something like this, it's just a pretty cool story that kids want to step up and do something. So help them help other people, because the more support they get, the more encouraging it is to keep going with whatever it is that you're doing, especially at such a young age. So yeah, we hope you help in some way, and at least check out their cause or pass it along to people who might benefit from the cause, and because that's what they want to do, is just find a way to help this community. So as do we.
Absolutely. We're all in this together. We're all humans at the end of the day, and we're all on this world together, and we have to work together in order to make change and in order to help one another. You can help anybody. You absolutely can. There's nothing wrong with doing that. So go check it out. Thank you guys for listening to our special episode. We'll be back Monday with our regular scheduled programming, but we just felt it was important to share kind of a feel-good story, given the circumstances, and with our light connections to hockey and to humankind. So be nice to each other. We'll talk to you later.